Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday evening. We hope you guys are all doing well. So we're going to carry on as usual from our selected excerpts. This topic is, again, faith above reason. If you are new to the YouTube channel, if you just dropped in or dropped by, you can always go to Kabbalah.info and check out our Kabbalah Academy if you're interested in learning about the wisdom of Kabbalah. And there are numerous articles, books, and all kinds of things there you can read and find out about the authentic wisdom of Kabbalah. In the interim, we should carry on as usual, and let's get smashing, shall we? Item number 22 from Faith Above Reason. As usual, if you have any queries, questions, anything you'd like to know, not clear, you can always shoot a question through, and we will try to answer them together from the excerpts. All right. Okay. Item number 22. This is from Rabash, article number 4. What is a flood of water in the work? We must know that it is a lot of work before we attain the quality of Bina. That is, to be content with little with his feeling and his mind, and be happy with his share, with what he has. That person can always be in wholeness because he's happy with his share. But what can one do if he has not yet obtained this quality and he sees that he cannot overcome his will to receive? At that time, he must pray to the Creator to help him so he can go in the work with his eyes shut and will not need anything, and will be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator, despite the resistance of the body to this. That is, he does not tell the Creator how he should help him. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. But since he cannot overcome his body, he asks the Creator to help him win the war against the inclination. All right, so let's read that again. Excerpt number 22, we continue from Faith Above Reason. We must know that it is a lot of work before we attain the quality of Bina. All right, so that's like the first degree. It's really hard to attain the first degree, right? Once you attain the first degree of bestowal, that's what Bina is. Bina is the attribute of love and bestowal of others, not yourself. So that first degree is a little tricky and it's a little time consuming and it requires a lot of effort. That is to be content with little with his feeling and his mind and be happy with his share, with what he has. So that's a state where a person is pretty much in the mode of there's none else besides him. Okay, so the person is in a state where he is content with exactly what is going on with his life. Everything that happens to him, he can relate to the situation with there's none else besides him, and he is good that does good. That person can always be in wholeness because he's happy with his share. Okay, wholeness requires us to be happy. And also, if you want to advance in spirituality, you have to be happy. Okay? So, if you're not happy, if you're in spirituality, it's not really good because then you can't really relate to the things that's going on in your life with respect to the Creator being good and treating you good. So a person should be in a state where he or she is always focused in line to there's none else besides him, he's good, that does good. Okay, and that's wholeness. So, but what can one do if he has not yet obtained this quality and he sees that he cannot overcome his will to receive? All right, so what to do along the way, right? If a person hasn't yet attained the attribute of bestowal, but he's working, right? He's on the path, he's working. So what to do? At that time, he must pray to the Creator to help him so he can go in the work with his eyes shut and will not need anything and will be able to do everything for the sake of the Creator, despite the resistance of the body to this. So we have to pray, right? So what does it mean really to pray, okay? Because this praying thing in the wisdom of Kabbalah is a little different to what other people understand out there with respect to their religious beliefs. Okay, so praying means that I desire very much. Okay, it's not all this paka they do outside. Praying means that in my heart I desire very much, okay, to be able to go above my will to receive. So I have a desire as such. And that my desire is to bestow to the Creator with everything, even though my body, which is my will to receive, does not so wish to do so. That is, he does not tell the Creator how he should help. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. Okay, so I'm not telling the Creator to do this or that, but basically I'm asking to be above my desire to receive, okay? So that my desire to receive can bow or subjugate to the will to bestow, okay? Unconditionally. So we're not trying to tell the Creator how to do his business or how to do his job. We're basically observing ourselves, and we're seeing that we're having a problem trying to overcome our will to receive. And we want to overcome that problem. Rather, he must subjugate himself and annul before the Creator unconditionally. Also, annulling before the Creator means that I am annulling before the desire to bestow. Because the Creator is the desire to bestow. So what we want to do is annul before that. So I want to annul my self-reception in front of bestowal. But since he cannot overcome his body, which is the will to receive again, he asks the Creator to help him win the war against the inclination. So every time I fail, I need to turn to the Creator. And this is a really important thing, because if I don't turn to the Creator, then I can't build a connection with the Creator. So whenever I'm having problems, whenever I'm having dramas, doesn't matter what you're having dramas with, right? As long as you're on the path, you could have any kind of problem, right? Even corporeal problems, we have them all the time. But if you want to overcome them, if you want to keep moving forward, you can always ask the Creator for help for anything, okay? So he can give you a hand. Obviously, what's nice to ask is to help in terms of your spiritual advancement, okay? And not to take away your corporeal problems, because then you're telling the Creator, well, listen, can you change, can you change my corporeal problems? And that's not really what he's going to be doing, is he? Why? Because, well, he's the one who brought them in the first place. So all kinds of problems we have in life, they all come from the Creator. Everything comes from the Creator. First of all, we were created by the Creator. So whatever is going to happen, or whatever has happened, is happening, or will happen, is therefore coming from the situation, none else besides him. Okay? So there is nothing here that's like constantly changing in terms of what's going to happen to you. You're changing, not your destiny. Whatever you're supposed to go through in life, which includes all the feelings and sensations, you're going to go through them. No doubt about it, okay? So while you're going through them, the important thing to understand here is, how are you going to relate to the stuff you're going through? Are they going to direct you to the goal? Or are they going to direct you to, I don't know, canceling the problems and having a good life? What do you, what's the response you're going to give to the creator with everything that's happening to you? All right, that's the important thing here, which a person has to clarify. And if you're studying the wisdom of Kabbalah in order to attain spirituality, which is to attain the attribute of Bina, which is bestowal, which is the attribute of the creator, then the only thing we should be focused on, directed towards, is that and nothing else. Okay, so all of the corporeal problems we have as well is actually they have to happen. They have to happen because this allows the person to clarify what he or she really wants from the creator. Okay, otherwise you can't clarify spirituality and corporeality. It'll be like, it'll be for reception, it won't be for bestowal. So the creator specifically will bring a person corporeal dramas, and the dramas should help you to think about, well, what do I need to pray for now? Okay, the creator is bringing me all kinds of problems, right? Could be work, family, relationships, anything. Okay, he's got a few buttons he's pressing all the time. Boop, family. Boop, health. Boop, work. Okay, it's just like they're pressing buttons. Okay, it's like a tilt machine. Okay, and you're getting hit from all over the place. Okay, it happens. But the question here is, how am I supposed to relate to that? How am I supposed to clarify from everything that's happening to me what I really want from the creator? Okay, so that's the important thing. So when we're going through the flood, when we're like overwhelmed with all kinds of things that life is throwing at us, then we've got to direct ourselves towards just one thing, nullifying ourselves and requesting only help in order to go above our will to receive, our desire to receive for ourselves. Okay, so that's that. Any questions? No? Okay, let's go to number 23. This is Rabash article number 23. What is the meaning of the purification of a cow's ashes in the work? Okay. In faith, we should make 3 discernments. 1. For example, if a person gives to his friend $1,000 and the person accepts it, and he is completely sure and believes, since this man is my friend and a meticulous person, so if he gives me the money, there must be $1,000 there, and there's no need to count. This is called faith below reason. In other words, he believes him because his reason does not object to what he believes, meaning there is no contradiction between believing him and the reason. It follows that to him, faith is below reason. And the reason is more important. That is, he believes him because reason does not object. However, if this is in contrast to reason, he will probably not believe. This is still not regarded as faith above reason. 2, he tells him, here's $1,000. The receiver counts it 3 times and sees that there is the stated amount there, and says to the giver, I believe you that there is that amount here, as you say. Certainly, this does not count as faith. 3, he counts to $1,000 3 times and sees that $1 is missing. But he says to the giver, I believe you that there is $1,000 here, even though the reason and the intellect say that there is less here. He says that he believes. This is called true above reason. All right, how to explain that? Let's do it again. In faith, we should have 3 discernments. Okay, so basically there are 3 types of faith: below reason, within reason, and above reason. Okay, so here he's giving us a little story, an allegory. So he's saying, listen, I gave you $1,000 as a loan. You gave it back to me and you said to me, here's $1,000 in an envelope. So I took the envelope and believed your word that it is $1,000. That's called faith below reason. Why? I believed you despite the fact that I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, so if I believe what you're saying without confirming it as true, it's called faith below reason. This means I have not attained that point of truth, but believe somebody else as if it is true. Okay, hope that makes sense. The second one is, he tells him, here's $1,000. The receiver counts it 3 times and sees that there is the stated amount there, and says to the giver, I believe you that there is that amount here, as you say. Certainly, this does not amount as faith. Why? It doesn't amount to faith because it's in his intellect that it is true. Okay? In his reason that is the case. So his reason compels him to believe that is the case. And in the first situation, it's contradictory to reason. Okay, that's why the first one is faith below reason. It's contradictory to reason. And the second one is reasonable. Yeah, I counted it. That's how it is. Okay, fair enough. And that's called within reason. Now, he counts the third. What's the third situation? He counts the $1,000 3 times and sees that $1 is missing. But he says to the giver, I believe you that there's $1,000 here. Even though the reason and the intellect says there is less here, he says that he believes. This is called true above reason. What's that mean? It means that he understands there's $999 there. So $1 is missing. So why does he believe that it is $1,000 instead of 999 and says, okay, it's true, I believe you? Because that is going above his will to receive. How can I say it? It's when I'm just trying to give an example. It's $999, but he takes it on as $1,000 because he doesn't want to stain the faith he has. So he's going above his will to receive. Does that make sense? Okay. But in his mind, he understands it's $999. The 3 things you need to understand, the 3 different things we need to know here is this. I can't blindly accept anything as true simply because it's told to me as such, without confirming that it is true. Otherwise, your spirituality will be like a religion. And that's called blind faith. Okay? And that's not good. Why? Because you don't know the truth, and you don't want to know the truth. Okay. The second one is within reason. That's also not spirituality. Why? Because that's how secular people live, right? If it's logical, and then I agree with it. But that will mean that I can never go above reason. And I can never develop, actually. Why? Because I'm always staying within my reason. So you can never go to the next level. What you have to do is accept the truth of somebody else, despite the fact that currently your truth is contradictory. Okay, and that's how you can go to the next degree. This is how we grow up as kids as well. Okay, we do not have the logic of our parents, but we do it as faith above reason, despite the fact that it's contrary to what I want to do as a child. Okay, I do what they impose on me. Okay. So we're in a contradictory state. Okay. For me, it doesn't seem right, but I take upon myself their word, and then I grow with it. And that's called faith above reason. It's the same thing we need to do all the time in the wisdom of Kabbalah. Why? Because if I want to go up to the next degree, what I have to do is always take the reason of the upper degree. If I don't take the reason of the upper degree, despite the fact that it contradicts my degree, can never go up. I'll always stay where I am. Okay, so that's really important to know and understand. Any questions? There is. Okay, so we're about 9 people. Okay, we've got friends from Indonesia, Canada, USA, St. Lucia from the Caribbean. Oh, I love the Caribbean. That's nice. Okay. Patricia's asking, is this excerpt about judging a friend to the scale of merit, or is there more to it? There's more to it. It's not just about judging my friend, because at the end of the day, spirituality is about me going above my desire to receive. Apologies. All right. Okay, so it's not just, it's not just accepting my friend's greatness. What we want to do is, the whole idea of the wisdom of Kabbalah is to go above our will to receive. How can I do that? Okay, how can I do that? In the 21st century, we're always using our intellectual faculties to make deductions, to come to conclusions, and we know what's common sense and not common sense, right? So in spirituality, if I want to go towards the way of bestowal, I have to understand that it is against reception. So I've got bestowal and I've got reception, okay? And they're contradictory, so I'm always left in between. So I have to make a choice as to which way to go. If I go with my logic, I stay in the situation that I'm in. If I just believe what the Kabbalists say, then that's even worse, because then I'm treating the whole thing as some kind of a religion. So what I have to do is I have to check. Okay, I have to check the recommendation of the Kabbalists. This is what it's saying. I've got to check their recommendation. And despite the fact that common sense, my common sense says, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, I do it. Okay, then it's a good thing then. Why? Because then I've got a contradictory situation, which is contradictory to my opinion, but I'm doing it and I'm taking my guides, the teacher's opinion, and I've got my opinion, and in between the two, I've got the now ability to make a discernment. If I'm in just my will to receive and my reason, okay, I can't make a deduction because I'm not in a contradictory state. If I want to get anything done in life in a next degree, I've got to be in a contradiction. All right. So it's not just about trusting the friend and so on. It sounds like an allegory as such, but this is our work with the Creator, okay? Because we want to advance in spirituality towards the Creator. So the conditions that I get in life appear as such that they're against my will to receive. And this is why we find it sometimes very difficult to move forward in the wisdom of Kabbalah, simply because, we're going in bestowal rather than, getting something for ourselves. And this contradictory state often puts people off. It's a big turnoff. And that's why. So what we need to do instead, though, look at the situation which is contradictory to the state that I'm in my will to receive, and go above my will to receive, and then understand the situation after I've attained that new level, and then that new level become within reason. Okay, then from that level, I can discern my previous situation in the will to receive, and now my current situation above that will to receive. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, ask. This is really important. A lot of people fail in this one. Okay, so ask if it's not very clear. Okay, Karen's asking, is our reason the help against us? We need it, right? We definitely need our reason, for sure. Okay, because I want to use my mind to analyze the situation. Okay, whether also if I find it illogical, that's also an analysis. Okay, many times in the wisdom of Kabbalah, we're like going towards bestowal rather than reception. So for us, that's like illogical, because we're always thinking according to our human nature where the profit is. And if I don't see a profit, then I'm thinking, well, why am I doing it if I'm not going to get anything in return? So the situation here is that we have to use our mind to evaluate the situation, to analyze the situation. But more importantly, I can only do that evaluation if, when going towards the next level, I put my mind aside. Okay. Why? Because the next level is always going to be illogical for me, because the next level is always more bestowal. So it's always more repelling. Okay. And what we can do then is to make sure that there, I don't use my mind, shut my eyes and say, you know what, I'm going to take the recommendation of the Kabbalist, and I'm just going to do it. Okay. And then I do it. And after I've done it, then I can use my mind again to evaluate it. Does that make sense? Okay. It's a really important topic, though. Okay. It's really worthwhile getting our heads around it. Isoke is asking, so in front of my eyes, I see that life lacks something. I count and measure what I see, and to me, something is missing. However, I'm going to go above this view and say there is more. Can we think of it this way? I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know if I understood you correctly. We can do this. We can do it like this. Let me explain it. Let me try to explain it anyway, like this. The Kabbalists are saying I have to love my friend regardless of, what I see. Okay, because everyone faults according to their own attributes. So the Kabbalists are saying I have to love the friends despite what my eyes see. And in my corporeal understanding, that's illogical, because logically, I should love a person if there's something mutual between us, right? But the Kabbalists are saying, no, if you do that, you're always going to be like an animal, because you're always going to be like measuring according to your will to receive, so you'll never actually go above your reason. So we're asking the Kabbalists, well, what should we do? Well, it doesn't matter what your friend is, you just love him and, do your best to bestow to them. Okay. despite the fact that that's illogical. Okay, so in my eyes, I'm in a minus, right? It's like the Kabbalists are saying, no, this is perfection. This is $1,000, but I'm counting and I'm thinking there's something missing here. Okay, it's not $1,000. So what I'm saying is, okay, I'm just going to accept it as $1,000, like a Kabbalist is saying. And then I'm going to take the recommendation. I'm going to take the advice and try to love the friend. Okay. And that is going above reason. Does that make sense? Okay. So the Kabbalists are always telling us the next level is always perfection. It's always $1,000, exactly what you gave me. But I'm thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't look right. Okay, because I have to love more, bestow more. So I'm always feeling like I'm in a deficit. Okay. So, but that's how I'm feeling it. So I have to put what I'm feeling aside and what I'm thinking aside and take the recommendation of the Kabbalists and apply what they're saying. And once I've done that, then I can kind of feel the next degree, and then I can agree. And then the next level will then be within reason, because then I'll make sense of it. Okay. Okay, so we've got Erica from Mexico, Monterrey as well. That's great. So we're pretty international then today. Okay, Canada, US, Indonesia, Mexico, the Caribbean. We've got friends from Turkey as well. Lovely. Okay, well, I'm going to read a little bit more. I hope that makes sense, guys. Okay. Excerpt number 24. This is again from Rabash, article number 23. What does it mean that Moses was perplexed about the birth of the moon in the work? We must believe in the sages who tell us that all our work, however we work, if the person attributes the work to the Creator, even if it is in utter lowliness, the Creator enjoys it. The person should be happy that he can do things while in a state of lowliness. The person should tell himself that he enjoys this work, which is entirely above reason. Reasonably thinking, this work is not considered work, meaning an important act that the Creator enjoys. Yet he believes in the sages who told us that the Creator does enjoy, but this is above reason. Okay, so here's another one we got to clarify. See, this above reason thing is very important for us on the path. So we always have to kind of like have a solid understanding of how to relate to the work. We must believe in the sages who tell us that all our work, however we work, if the person attributes the work to the Creator, even if it is in utter lowliness, the Creator enjoys it. So even if we're doing a big mess, okay, of our spiritual work, however, though, we want to advance in spirituality, really, we sincerely want to advance, but we're just, making a big mess, the Creator accepts that work. Because like same with the kids, right? Our children are always trying to grow up. Okay, I got one in the house myself. I don't know whether he wants to wreck the house. I don't know whether he wants to burn us all down. I really don't. Okay, well, this is how he's growing up. Okay, it's a big mess. But, we love the guy. Okay, so the Creator is also same kind of with us. We're always trying to do a little bit more here, a little bit more there. And we discover that we fail often. And it's sometimes, again, a bit disappointing for the person. Because we're always failing. We always feel like, it's never enough. I'm never doing it right. And we never see we're like really advancing in spirituality, right? So we're always thinking that we're doing something wrong, right? It's like always must be doing something wrong. However, though, that's not the case. That this situation is specifically good because the person is only going to learn how to walk from all the falls, right? Just like with kids. So we're not really going to get to walk. We're never really going to get to run unless we keep falling and getting up, falling and getting up. And this is actually good because we're exerting effort, and the effort is actually building up our mind as well, right? Because how are children growing all the time? Through experiences, right? They don't grow up with what we explain. They grow up with all the things they do. And as they do things, they learn things. So they grow wise from experience, and same with us. So despite the fact that we may be making a lot of mistakes, the Creator still accepts the work that we do because we want to advance in spirituality one way or another, somehow, according to our, according to the best that we can do, we're trying. Okay. So the Creator is okay with that. The person should be happy that he can do things while in a state of lowliness. What does that really mean? It means that we have no idea how we're advancing. Absolutely none. Okay, so we can't measure our advancement in spirituality. We don't know if we've taken, a step forward or not with respect to yesterday. Most of the time, we're always feeling like we're going backwards and not forwards at all. Okay, so it's all one big blurry, dark, not knowing what's going on kind of thing. However, though, despite the fact that we feel that way, it's all dark, and most of the times we're like a little unmotivated, not willing, it's hard, we're feeling heavy and all that, that's all good, okay? Because if going through all these dark states, I can still move on a little bit, okay? Drag my feet along, as they say. That should still give me a little bit of satisfaction. Why? Because it's the dragging the feet along. You're actually going against your will to receive. And one of the important ways of doing that is having a good framework, okay, that you can keep, right? Because if you have a good framework you can keep, despite the fact that you don't want to do something, you can keep a timetable, a schedule, a framework. So it's like going against your reason all the time, okay? The person should tell himself that he enjoys this work, which is entirely above reason. So this is a bit tricky, okay? Because how am I supposed to tell myself I'm enjoying something when I'm not? Okay, that's a question mark. Okay, so that's a question. Reasonably thinking, this work is not considered work, meaning an important act that the Creator enjoys. Yet he believes in the sages who told us that the Creator does enjoy, but this is above reason. Okay, so a person should tell himself that the Creator enjoys this work, which is entirely above reason. Okay, why? Well, that's what the Kabbalists are saying. So if I don't feel the Creator at the moment, there's no way that I can measure if the Creator is happy or not. Okay, so there's no way that I can say that the Creator is happy. It's true, I can't say that. But the Kabbalists are saying, listen, if a person's trying to grow up, they're trying to do the best they can. The parents are always happy, okay, because they're doing the best they can. Okay, and we all, all of us have a certain capacity to do stuff. So all I have to really do is to push forward as best I can. And most of the times, even though I feel that I'm not doing my best, in fact, I feel like really sometimes paralyzed or incapacitated to do anything, but still doing a little bit, even in a state like that, is still enough to give parents some joy, because the kid's trying, okay? It's pushing forward under the circumstances that it is in. So we have to evaluate it like this. Within the circumstances that I'm in, I'm doing the best I can, and that is what the Creator is happy about. Okay, so I may feel like I'm failing, not good, and all that kind of stuff. It's okay. It's okay. The important thing here is to do what I can do. Okay, even if it's just minimal, even if I'm waking up for the morning lesson and still sleeping in the morning lesson, but I'm there, even that. Okay, so you're sleeping through the lesson, but you're there. You've done the best you can. You got up, got yourself in front of the computer, you're in front of the screen, and you've done something. Okay, so all of that is like really important. And if we look at it from the perspective of parents, with any little exertion or effort the kids do in the right direction, they're happy with. Okay, and that's the important thing. So that's what the Kabbalist are really trying to say. Listen, despite the fact that you may feel overwhelmed and like, under a lot of load and heavy, not able to do anything, the Creator is okay with that. Okay, the Creator is okay with that. Because the Creator understands we're going against our nature and it's tough sometimes and all that kind of stuff. So this is really important to understand. No matter what happens, the important thing is what we should take from these articles is no matter what happens and no matter what we really go through in life, okay, the important thing is just do what I can do. Okay, and sometimes we may feel that it's like something really immaterial or small. It doesn't really matter, because at that time, that's what I could have done. That's what I can do. Right? And that's the important thing. Why? Well, drop by drop, little drops make a pond. And that's just how it is. Okay. So we're putting $1 a day into the piggy bank. And that's how we grow the piggy bank. All right. Another day, another dollar kind of thing. All right. So that's just how it is. Rightio then. Any questions? There are 2 more questions. Let's do it. Okay. Okay. Marlon's asking, is it really us falling or the Creator in control of it all, even our failures? Well, look, if the Creator created me, I can always say it's the Creator's fault, right? Because the Creator created me. So if I'm successful or failing, I can say this is both his. Okay, I can attribute both of them to him. Okay, but at the end of the day, we're always feeling like I'm doing something, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, I don't feel like the Creator is pulling my strings like Pinocchio. I'm waking up and I'm thinking I've got to go to the lesson, or I'm waking up and I go say I've got to go to work, or I don't know, I've got to do this for the guys. I've got to take this and do that for the friends and so on. So at the end of the day, there's a sensation that, yeah, the Creator created us with all our attributes, but a person always feels that he or she is acting, is doing something. Okay? So that's why we're on the one hand, there is none else besides him. On the other hand, if I'm not for me, who's for me? The principle applies. Okay, so I'm always in the sensation that I'm doing something. You could always say there's none else besides him, so I'm not going to eat anything. Okay, and let's see if the Creator will kill me from starvation or something. You should know that you will die from starvation if you stop eating. Okay, so it's as easy as that. So let's be logical, all right? So we're always going to have this feeling that, I did something. So when we fail, we feel like we failed. And when we did something, we can feel like we did something. Personally, I've never felt like I did something. I've never actually had the sensation that I can say, you know what, I did this one. Okay. However, though, until you come to that sensation, you're always doing what you can do. So there's none else besides him really feels like the Creator did everything only after you did a lot of stuff. This is why doing a lot in the wisdom of Kabbalah is really important, because you're doing and doing and doing, and then at the end of the day, feeling like you haven't done anything, and it was all the time the creator doing everything. And then you're thinking about what's the benefit of that? Well, the benefit of that is you're learning, he's teaching you. And you felt like he was guiding you all along. And this also is good because it gives you the confidence that he's always walking with you. So as you go through these feelings often enough, so you do something, you feel like there's none else besides him afterwards, okay? This then builds up this confidence. So your life becomes this walk in the park with the creator all the time. So on the one hand, you're walking with him, doing a lot of things. On the other hand, afterwards, you're discovering that he is doing everything. So there's this confidence. So on the one hand, there's me. On the other hand, there's the creator, and we're both walking together. Okay, and that's important to carry. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. What you said about the creator understanding brings great relief. Okay, good. That's good. Okay, Mancini is asking, what happens if I choose to do corporeal things instead of going to the lesson? I don't know. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm scared to try. Okay, so you can do that if you like, but I'm not going to try. Wise is who's experienced. Okay, so you let me know when you do it, okay, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've had enough slaps. Okay, I have surrendered to the creator. No missing the morning lesson. All right, so I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. I've got another interview in about 10 minutes happening on another topic. So I'm gonna love you, leave you. Hope to see you guys next Tuesday. All the best. Take care. Great seeing you guys. Have a lovely day or evening.